Oh, hey, so let's just move on to night number 2 of the Deer Creek run from 2003. July 22nd, 2003 it is. My favorite of the 3-night run. They split open and melt, Gumbo, Free, even Walls of the Cave. Walls of the Cave, I feel like a much stronger song in 2.0. Was not quite, always felt like it had a little section in it where maybe they could play around with it a little bit. It wasn't just the straight ahead raging set closer, although this did close the set. And then Punch You in the Eye, My Beauty of My Dreams opened up the set. You know, kind of a forgotten Punch You in the Eye opener after such a jam-filled night. And then back-to-back nights playing some bluegrass. Magilla, the one and only Magilla of 2.0, and the final Magilla ever up to this point anyhow. We have yet to see another one. And from what I recall, and being a bit of a chomper myself at the time, I had to look over at my buddy and be like, what is this? You know, I didn't recognize it at the time. And I was not alone. There was a whole lot of people, I feel like, looking around. They were looking for some early 1.0ers to point it out. And early 1.0, McGilla strong in the rotation, you know. But then as the crowd shifted, you know, basically they had abandoned the song by 94. They played it a little bit in 97, once in 98, I think one in 2000, and then this one. And as the crowd shifted over the year, although I want to check out the one from 98 again. It's been a while since I heard that one, the August 1st, 98 show up in Alpine, sandwiched in between the meat of the 2001 burger there. So let's get back to this show, though, and Magilla. Well, let's move on from Magilla. It was okay. I just remember the crowd not being real fired up, even a little confused on what it was, you know. So the Phish crowd that enjoyed a little rock band playing some jazz, those people had moved on. You know, we were here for some hardcore Carinis, some split open and melts with a major jam. You felt like they were going to tease maybe big black furry creatures from Mars at one point. The Free, though, the Melt and Free for sure, even with the Friday to follow that. You know, I've said before, it seemed like every show I went to had a Friday. Every town I went to had a Friday. This being a 3-night run, luckily I only got it once. So I should pick up all the Gumbo early in the show, too. You know, probably much different than the Split Open and Melt Jam. This one had maybe more of a slower pace to it. Some sections that felt a little funky, a little spacey. They follow that up with a Divided Sky that they paid extra attention to. One that's kind of been back-shelved lately, Divided Sky. This one, not only was it front and center early here, middle of the late first set. Middle. That was late by the time they were done with it. Then Boogie On, Reggae Woman. Got a little shortchanged, but that went into Carini. The Carini, not like we get today. This one was just kind of almost like a shorter version of the Melt Jam. Just kind of mean, scary. You know, I think I've talked about it before. I saw a bird try to take its first flight during that Carini. It was like there was a nest up at the top of the pavilion. It could not fly yet. Unfortunately, it was a rough ending for that bird. Then the already mentioned Magilla, the final Magilla ever. And then Possum in the set. You know, Trey, fiery on that Possum, but, you know, I probably was digging it back then. I don't know. Unlike Walls of the Cave, Possum was still kind of Possum. I think you got to go way back to get the Possum. 94 Possum, I'm feeling it. All right, Split Open and Melt, like I said, had this, a jam that kind of went in many directions. The melt itself was a little, you know, wasn't perfect, obviously, like some Split Open and Melts. The jam's what we're here for. And then this one wasn't all just the like how they kind of just crumble on themselves now. They recently compared it to a volcano erupting. And then the Free, as I mentioned, Mike just going off and Free almost always, right? Page didn't really, you know, Page, not that he was bad this show, but maybe the missing member, you know, definitely turned up more nowadays. Walls of the Cave. Oh, and an excellent Lizards. You know, I was a huge Lizards fan back then. Got more Lizards back then, too. And then Bouncing Around the Room and Frankenstein. You can probably move beyond, though. Although a really good Frankenstein, actually. If you're into the cover songs, that was a good one. So, once again, rating still offline, 4.3. So I went to some good shows in 2.0. Boy, all of them 4.1 or higher, I believe. All right, so I've been many highlights from this one. For me, it's Meld. Other people, it's Gumbo. Some people like Walls of the Cave, the Free. Real nasty if you ain't got a lot of time. If you got about an hour, just listen to that second set and skip Friday. Do Melt and Free, and then do Lizards, Walls of the Cave. And then if you still got some time, Gumbo and the last Magilla ever. All right, I'll shut up about Magilla. All right, guys, boom. We'll go ahead and finish up the run. We'll do July 23rd. Stay tuned to the F Zappa 20 channel. Give me a thumbs up, man. Thanks, guys. Boom.